Hi guys, welcome back to Party at the Football House.
Yo!
Today we got a special guest from our tenure over there. Second generation Football House liver, or well, we can't say owner, so we're just going to say liver, I guess. Josh Belcher, welcome to the show.
Good to be here, boys. Thanks for having me on.
So,
Appreciate that.
So, Josh, what year did you sit there and did you have the Football House? That would have been was that your junior year or your senior year?
My senior year was when we all moved in together in the second generation, I guess, from this standpoint, second generation Football House. I know it was probably third or fourth, maybe, as far as some of the people that might be listening to this podcast or some of the people that have come on the podcast. But from my standpoint, my duration in college, y'all's duration in college, this was the second generation. It was over on Wood Street, just across from an abandoned house. Snuck in there a few times and destroyed stuff, but don't want to get caught on about that. So, but yeah, we had that house. It was me, Gabe Ziatone, Meislowick. We had Ramos and Graham Failer in there. Oh, Rory Arnold as well. Yeah, man. And we had a blast. It was maybe a little bit more controlled than the previous Football House. Maybe less holes in the wall. Still had some holes in the wall. Don't get me wrong. But maybe a little bit more controlled. Maybe a little cleaner. But yeah, man, it was a blast. It was an honor to be in there, and it was annoying at times being the main party house on campus. You know, some nights when you want to kind of take it easy, you don't really get to do that. But that's being in college, so got to kind of suck it up and just have a good time.
I think an interesting thing too that some of our viewers may not know is that you actually got to experience Millikin even before your tenure there through your brother, right, Caleb?
Yeah, sure thing, man. Yeah, my brother Caleb, he was 2 years older than me. Went to Millikin, and my junior year of high school, I didn't visit. I visited for watched saw some football games. Never did like an overnight or anything. And then my senior year of high school, Millikin started recruiting me more. Came for a couple day visits, did an overnight visit, and then also got to know McMillan and Travis and Danny and a lot of the guys, Quattrone, a lot of the guys that were really good, close with my brother. I got to know them before I even came to school there. Spent some time over the summer with them training for football, drinking and having a good time over the summers. And yeah, man, I got to experience Decatur summers the summer before college, if that makes sense. I spent a good amount of time up there. And if there's one thing, you guys are on the same page with me here. Decatur is such a fun town to be in. It when you look at it, when a lot of people complain about how boring it is, but whenever you're there with your homies, especially with the football guys, it's your oyster. You can do whatever you want with it. And a lot of people will disagree with me on that. But, what I always said is,
what you mean by that?
If I'll say this, and I have said this a lot, if you are bored in a certain place, you're not making the most of it. You're probably a boring person.
I could agree with that.
Don't take it to me. Nobody come with their pitchforks at me. But if you're a fun person, which all of our guys were, you make the most out of the situation. You'll have a fun no matter where you're at. And that's it speaks a lot to the camaraderie and the brotherhood that we had. Where like I said, it doesn't matter where you're at. Give us a 12-pack, 30-rack of beer, and let us loose in an open field, and we'd have a good time.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And going back to you obviously getting to experience some things before you started your tenure over there, would you say that sitting there and having that exposure with those guys, through Caleb and all that stuff, made your transition easy as hell? Getting into the swing of things and everything, or do you still think that it was kind of a 50-50 with it, depending on how the day felt?
Oh, I mean, I definitely knew what to expect more. I mean, I wasn't a huge party person in high school. I did my fair share, but I went to a real small high school, so it's not like there was a whole lot of opportunity to do the things we were doing. But no, it was great to it was nice because if I wasn't hanging out with, I didn't have to go hang out in the dorms. That was a big thing for me. It was my freshman year. I didn't have to go hang out in the dorms. I could go to the woods and hang out with the guys that, were juniors already, and not have to. I got guys to buy me beer already. I got, I got a place to go on a Friday night when everybody else is just stuck in the dorms playing video games or something, So that was super helpful. And I was kind of some people already knew who I was kind of when I came on campus, so that was helpful as well. I didn't kind of feel like an outsider. I feel like I had to become ingrained in the I guess party group as much as somebody that was coming kind of from high school.
Yeah, I feel that completely. So today, folks, we're going to give Belch the floor to sit there and tell a couple of his stories that's come to mind for him that are worthy of sharing on here. And then after we get through those, and I'm sure there'll be, some questions that'll, come up in our heads throughout that, we're going to sit there and see where Belch is at now, what Belch is doing now since college and all that stuff. He's got a business that he had started. It's a moving company. We're going to get into that. He's going to explain how he came about creating that and, the success that he's been able to have. And he's actually hired guys that we played against from other schools to just other guys that have just gone to the schools that we played. So it's kind of cool to see that the CCIW is kind of still connected in that frame. But, well, bro, without further ado, let's hear the first story that comes to your mind, man. I'm kind of interested to see what you've pulled out of the hat, dude.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to share anything too crazy or incriminating, but I will say that some of my most fond memories come from the events that we had during college, and I'm sure every college has events, annual events, but Hate Your Body Week was huge. A staple. I haven't really heard of any other schools that did it kind of how we did it, where we did 7 days straight, or 8 days straight, really, 9 days almost, of just hating your body and just pushing it to the limit of college life and partying and getting the let out after a long season of some disappointments, I'll say. But yeah, man, the Hate Your Body Week was awesome. I remember my freshman year, Beer Olympics was huge. It was that Saturday, so Saturday we started, key in a fifth, had the events all the way around the week, and then that following Saturday was when we did Beer Olympics, and it'd be an all-day drinking event. You start at 11 and go throughout the day, and it was team-based, so you had a team of usually 4 to 6 people, I think. And it was kind of like Mario Kart type scoring, where there was, we would have a volume chug, I think is one of the events that we started out with, where you have a pitcher of beer and you pass it down a line of 4 people, and whatever group of 4 can finish their pitcher first, then, winner gets 4 points, fourth place team or 6th place team gets 1 point or whatever, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So that was really cool going throughout the entire day. I remember my freshman year, I was paired up on a team of the guys that were in my brother's class, so they were juniors, I was a freshman. I remember Nick McMillan is one of the guys that was on my team for that, and we made it all the way to the championship, which was it came down to 2 teams. We were playing Triple Crown. If you asked me to tell you the rules of Triple Crown right now, I could not do that. But it was some kind of combination between beer pong, flip cup, and who knows what else. But yeah, we made it all the way to that. I was absolutely trashed. It was my heaviest drinking day of my life to that point. We had kegs everywhere. I had drinking my weight in beer already. It was freezing balls out. Late November. But I remember we made it to Triple Crown. I'm one of the guys that's going to be on our team for the final event. Me and a couple other people go down a few houses over and I'm getting a call. Hey man, we're starting this Triple Crown. You better get over here. I mean, I sprinted down Main Street back to and this was at the old football house in the basement. Sprinted down Main Street back to the house. Oh man, I get there and realize that all of the alcohol and was all really coming to a boil there, and I was lost, man. I was lost. But I'm pretty sure we won. I don't think anybody fully knows or officially knows who won that day. I think we're all just.
I don't think there is a winner.
I'm surprised you can
it's
remember
just
that.
About who falls asleep last.
Yeah, I'm surprised I can remember that too. I was. It was yeah, but we all won. We all won. We strengthened our bond. Became drunker and closer together at the same time. It was that for me, that was probably the best beer Olympics I had experienced, and that was as a freshman. And from that day on, even before then, but I knew that Milliken was a fit for me. We were a family, and it was really cool to see how close everybody could become, outside of, off the field. And I will say a big part of that too was all of the other groups that came in. It wasn't just the football team, the volleyball girls, the soccer players, the baseball team, everybody on campus that was an athlete, even non-athletes, came together, and we were one real close family and close group. I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, I remember my freshman year when Trev and Danny had it at their place, that Beer Olympics, man. There were faces that were there. There were guys that I was getting introduced, man, that had been out for like 2 to 3 years, and
Yeah.
You start to meet some of the upperclassmen's families, or family come out and all that stuff. But like, how big of a group of people sat there and did it just for something. I mean, something like that, on a smaller scale compared to, other events, people are going to hear about Hate Your Body Week. People are going to hear the words keg races and all this other stuff. But like, I'm glad you chose that one, because Beer Olympics completely slipped my mind. But it was like, Beer Olympics is the perfect thing to do in the fall. It's just the perfect fall thing to do, man, where you just sit there. I mean, it's the equivalent of just sitting there and tailgating, pretty much. Except you're not tailgating anything. You're sitting there emptying a keg out. I mean, that's about it. I mean, that's your one sole duty, your sole purpose. But no, man, I remember sitting there, dude, just going in and out of the house, because they would sit there and they had the table out in their yard, which was no more than just a fat ass gravel parking lot.
Oh, the back lot, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then
no, you bring up a good point about the guys that are coming back, which that tells you how special it was and how special everybody was to each other. That people would have been out of school for 2-3 years and still come back for Beer Olympics, for a Saturday to just let loose and that's that. Me and Nick McMillan, I'll mention him a lot because me and him work together. I sit right next to him at my job now. And we reminisce on this stuff all the time. And me and him were actually just talking about it a couple weeks ago, how Beer Olympics, keg races was great. Keg races was awesome. There was so many people. It was a really great time.
And that's what's
but you really couldn't beat Beer Olympics because, it's the competition of it. You're even though, like I said, nowadays we couldn't remember who won what year and what event and all that good stuff. But at the time, it's like, oh man, we're gonna win this stuff. We're gonna be the champions of Beer Olympics, and it didn't matter. But it was that competition, being able to do that, mix that with the drinking that we all love to do, and it came together to be a great day, bringing alumni back, getting them involved after they had been in school.
I think what's even nuttier on top of that too is so for people that don't have a fucking clue what we're talking about. You're talking about like starting about 9 in the morning with everybody, and everyone and their mom is awake for this shit. And you're going from 9 o'clock till about like a early dinner, and then you're sitting there grabbing a quick nap, and then there was a party that fucking night.
You got to be careful. You got to be careful with the naps. I had done naps before where it took me out of the game. The best to do was to go to the bistro. I don't know if the bistro is still around. I think they changed it for the new cap. But the bistro, that was the move there. You go down there, get a double cheeseburger.
Where was that at?
Some fries, and maybe steal a soda. It was in the bottom of Artuck, Richards Treat University Center. It was the cafe.
It didn't exist when you came there.
Damn.
It was the old UC. They tore it down. That was a dance and theater building there.
It was right next to Aston, but it was gone by the time you got there.
Oh damn.
I remember one day. I don't think it was an event. I don't think it was keg races or beer Olympics. But I remember we were on the west side of campus at one of those houses, and we were at my brother's house where he lived his junior year, so my freshman year. We were back there partying, day drinking, just having a good time. And I think it was after a day of spring ball, if I remember correctly. But it was me and Rory and Travis Govey and some other dude, maybe some other dude, but I think, if I remember, it was me, Rory, and Travis. And Travis, Travis, he got to the point by 4 p.m. every day of day drinking that he wasn't even speaking English anymore, really. Definitely not walking straight. And we kind of carried him to the bistro. This is my fondest bistro memory. Carried him to the bistro, me and Rory, on either side of him, and he's kind of hanging on to us. And he walks up to the podium and he says, "Give me the usual." The lady's like, "What are you talking about?" And Rory's just like, "Yeah, we have a double cheeseburger and some fries, please." Oh man, he said, "Give me the usual." And oh man, and if anybody listening remembers the bistro, the ladies that worked in the bistro, they weren't putting up with it. They had no interest in listening to this drunk dude. Yeah. Oh man. At Travis.
Yeah. I miss just like the camaraderie with all that stuff, and then at bistro too, dude. I stumbled my way down there for a fucking chicken strip basket a couple of times, dude. I ain't even go out.
And that was some of the beauty of it. That was some of the beauty of it, was that you didn't have to care or worry about anything. You felt completely safe. You didn't have to be like, oh, well, I need to plan this route or anything like that. You just drunk, blackout, stumbled across campus until you found some food. Drunk, stumble back to somebody's house, whoever has the lights on, whoever's got a house with somebody sitting on the front porch. You go up there, hopefully they got some beers for you, or you grab some beers on the way there, and you just let it go, let it ride, and just
and
sit around and
I think that's the biggest focus with everything is like, obviously with you and like some of the other guys that we're gonna have on too is like, I think the coolest thing that you guys get to sit there and share in all of this is, or share with us, I should say, is like, you guys had a couple of years where Main Street was just bumping.
Yep.
Like, I mean, you could have just sat there in the middle of the street and went,
take your pick.
The song playing over there, I don't fuck with that song, but they're jamming over here, so I'm gonna go over there. Like, just sitting there and like, I think it's something for like people that are there at school now, and I think even when it kind of came later is like the options ceased to exist. Everyone kind of started at the very end of it, like of my tenure and Nate's tenure. I think the click-based bullshit is what sat there and kind of ruined that tradition and that torch passing that we were able to sit there and receive from all of those great groups of guys before us that passed it down. And I think that alone just makes all the difference. Like, for example, we had sat there and we had talked with two future guests and stuff, and it was only guys that he knew by name through stories that I've told. And when we got in there and we got on that call, he was sitting there and he started putting it together, and like just hearing like all the stuff that they were saying, it was like he was in a whole new fucking world.
Yeah.
And like I think that's kind of like one of the biggest things that like we want to sit there and share. Like, you know, it's just like once upon a fucking time, dude. Let me tell you, you know, this is what the fuck it was. But you know, I think that, you know, the one question that comes to mind, you know, as well, because with your house of guys, you know, you guys had to sit there and decide it too. Is like when you sat there and you got to graduation, right? You're an adult. You know, time's up. Even if you go for the MBA program, whatever, you know, you're sitting there and you're focusing on, you know, sitting there trying to figure adult shit.
Yeah.
What made it, or why was it so important, or why bother sitting there trying to sit there and pass this torch down that was given to you, when the realization is at the end of the day, you could have just sat there and said, yeah, man, these times were great. That was it. Why keep that tradition going? What made you want that?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us, you know, this is probably just a portion of the reasoning behind it, but a lot of us, we cared about the football program and we wanted to see it succeed after us, and we thought, or we knew that a lot of our draw, at least our personal draw to come play at Millikin, was how much fun we were able to have off of the field, and how close everybody was together. And I don't just mean the football team. I mean, you know, all athletes, even non-athletes. Everybody was so close together. I think that was a really big draw for people to come to Millikin and stay at Millikin. And I think that would contribute. We all knew that that would contribute to the continued success of the football program. You know, I think my junior and senior year were two of the best seasons that we've had in probably the last 20 years as a school. And I think we knew that. And then also, you know, we felt that we owed it to the classes below us. You know, we were honored to have those traditions and those you know, rites of passage passed down to us, and we felt that it was our job to continue passing that along. That's why we passed the torch to you, Delphos, and to all the guys in your class, and we wanted to see that kind of continue, because we did sense that it was dying a little bit. And a big contributor to that, and you almost touched on it earlier, it's about stacking classes. It's just like building a good football team. You got to stack a few talented classes together. If you have any gaps in like, you know, classes, I guess, good classes, then you can easily lose those traditions and those, you know, ways of living on campus. Which that did happen. I mean, there was. I'm probably gonna get this wrong, so I apologize to anybody, any of the old heads listening, that I'm getting this wrong on. You know, there was, from what I remember, I think it was the class that graduated when I was coming in, but right before I came in. You know, Jared O'Connor, Mike Emanuelson, some of those guys. I'm missing some people there, and then the class below that was Rosner, Torin, Gates. Probably missing some more. I know I'm missing some more guys there. And then below that was, you know, my brother, Glenn, Sean, once again, McMillan, missing so many people. And then there was, you know, Nico's class. All great guys, you know, don't get me wrong, but they weren't really sustaining the traditions of partying. And it was a smaller class, to be fair. I mean, I think there was maybe 6 or 7 seniors that graduated from the football team that year, and a few of them had transferred in, you know, so they weren't really grandfathered in on the traditions and things like that. So there was a bit of a gap there that made it hard to continue. You know, there was baseball players living in the football house that year, if that explains anything. Which, and nothing against the baseball guys. Love you, baseball guys that are listening. You guys were all, you know, we always had some good times together, but it wasn't what it was. And I think we did lose a lot of that, and we felt that happening. So to answer your question, we felt that we owed it. It was almost a self-fulfilling prophecy to continue those traditions and to pass that along. I hope we did a good job. It did kind of flame out, it seemed, you know, a couple years after we had left, but we sure we partied our asses off trying to teach you boys how to party, and I think we got the job done, at least from my perspective, our perspective.
Best education ever.
Sorry, Joe Blanco, I
Dude,
wasn't in class too much.
That shit totally bangs, bro. I swear.
Bang, sauce, and the terminology that came from those boys that were ahead of me. I think we had our own little language going. I think for a little bit, we probably sounded like absolute morons to anybody on the outside, but it was just the way we talked to each other.
Definitely fucking did. No doubt in my
Danny
mind.
and Travis love saying bangs and love getting sauce. Those are probably two of the biggest ones. Yeah.
So another question that I have for you, sitting there and kind of transitioning from, sitting there talking about, the social life aspect. We've obviously talked about playing ball a little bit here. What was it like being a part of that transition from one coach to another coach, and kind of seeing, the rest of your years play out the way that they did? How much of a change was it?
Yeah, it was definitely a big change. I mean, comparatively, I feel like Gritty was much more serious, much more focused on winning and building a culture that was a winning culture, and he only wanted guys. I remember him saying, from like our first meeting together, hey guys, if you're not in it to fully in it and dedicated and willing to take the shit to become better, then I don't want you. I don't need you. We'll find somebody to replace you. And he meant that too. I mean, there was a lot of guys that got cut that they just didn't meet the standard for what we were asking. And I love Coach E. He was a great guy. Potempa, some of the other guys that were on the coaching staff, great guys, great coaches ultimately. But I think they'd been there a little bit too long and maybe lost the hope or the newness or the idea that they could build that kind of culture. So yeah, whenever Gritty came in, he was trying to clear shop. He was trying to cut off the dead ends and get the bad apples out of the bunch, so that we could move forward. And he did a good job. And personally, I mean, I was a freshman. The end of my freshman year, I wasn't playing varsity. It was when Etherton left and Gritty came in at the beginning of sophomore year. But the first meeting I had with Gritty one-on-one, he came in. He said, "We watched your tape from last year. You were a slow-ass linebacker. We're going to move you to D-line." And at first I was like, "Oh crap! I'm not a big guy. I don't know how I'm going to do a D-line." And then I realized they were doing the same thing with Gabe Ziatone. And I was like, "Okay, this actually might work. And let me hear him out for a little bit." And then I heard about the Rushman philosophy of having smaller, speedier guys in that were going to,
fucking go.
Dude,
here we go, D-line. I forget I'm on the line with the O-line boys, but
no, it's something that really pisses me off because he basically told you guys that like you guys were too fucking slow. It's the same thing that he told me. He was like, "Motherfucker, you were too fat," so that's why he put me in O-line. Like that shit just pissed me off so much. I love him, but damn, dude.
Amaya, you started us with us on D-line. I remember that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he took a linebacker. Ziatone was a safety or a corner, maybe. I mean, dude, I love you, Gabe. Worst corner ever, dude. Oh man, pass coverage. Oh no, it's not your thing, man. You gave up so many touchdowns on that JV team. That was bad.
Not JV.
Love you, buddy. But yeah, he took Taz, who played outside backer, and brought him down to D-line. I played tackle. I probably lined up a few snaps in games at nose. Like he didn't need big guys. He wanted guys that were going to get through the gaps. And once I saw that philosophy, I bought in. And a lot, all the guys that saw playing time and saw, success on the team were guys that bought in. And Gritty knew if you were buying in or not, and he wasn't gonna give you the time of day if you weren't. You were a waste of his time. So, I appreciated Gritty for who the coach he was and what he was trying to build. I don't agree with everything he said or did, but that's part of it. You're not going to agree with everything your coach does, but you gotta buy in and sacrifice. Oh man, there was our thing. I think that was our senior year. Surrender the me for the we. It's true though. It's true. That's why we went 7-3 my senior or junior year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I remember getting into that first camp, dude, and just like there was just so many like feelings and like emotions and like uncertainty because like even the upperclassmen didn't even know what the fuck was going on just yet. Like they had an idea because they got a spring ball out of it, but at the end of the day, nobody knew exactly where the fuck it was leading and shit, dude. And I remember I sat there and I unveiled the holy number that I wore for 4 years, dude. And that number chose. I want everyone to know that number chose me, man. I did not choose it. It chose me.
It fits you well.
And I just, yeah, it did. It fucking did, dude. And I remember them sitting there talking about, like, we're going to sit there and roll you at both of the guard spots. That's when I think Glenn had that allergic reaction to something or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And, dude, that first play, bro, I pulled out on power and I laid the wood on fucking Taz, dude. I made that motherfucker feel every pound, every fucking ounce of my ass, dude.
That's a big, for those who don't know Taz, that's a big dude, too.
And then next week, dude, me and Gabe went toe-to-toe, bro, ripping each other's helmet off, beating the fuck out of each other. We were fucking talking about that next week. Oh, dude, I remember. He sat there, he got under, he started yanking on my fucking beard, dude, and I just grabbed his face mask, and I grabbed his hip, and I just went, it's just like, we were sitting there, dude, like, it was like sitting there, like, remember the Titans practices, dude. We were just sitting there kicking the shit out of each other all goddamn day, dude. And then them one-on-ones, man, I will never, ever, ever forget the shit talking, dude. Like, as the years progressed, instead of shit talking like you or anybody else, I'd sit there and I'd shit talk Gritty because he'd sit there and he'd come over just to fucking sit there and try talking shit. Mm-hmm. I remember that shit, dude. Him and I, man, I'd go sit right next to him, sit there talking. He goes, "Aren't you supposed to be in the drill?"
Oh, it
went just sitting there stretching out.
It went both ways. I remember in the one-on-ones, you know, Allgaier would be standing back by where the cone who represented the quarterback was, and I have a video on my phone. I forget who the old lineman was, but I did a 2 steps outside, rip back inside, free and clear to the quarterback. You know, I stop, look up, I'm looking at Allgaier. I'm like laughing in his face, pointing at the guy, the old lineman that I just put on the ground from crossing him up so bad. And like pointing at him and laughing, and I'm like doing this to a coach's face, like Allgaier, a guy that's been there for at that time probably like 15 years already. At this point, he's probably been there for 20-something years. Yeah, I mean the competition level and the intensity level. I mean, it was paramount. You got on there and you didn't hate the guy, but you know when you're on the field, there's no difference between a teammate and an enemy as long as you guys are on different sides of the ball. But then you get back in the locker room, everything's cool, man. You guys are back to being brothers. Like, hey, man, we going to grab a beer. Where are we getting our beer at tonight? Are we getting some Four Locos, or you got enough money to get a bottle, or what are we doing?
No, Four Loco.
Yeah, that's the goddamn truth with it, dude. I think I'd rather drink gasoline than a Four Loco, dude.
This shit's disgusting.
110%.
That stays fresh.
Pay me enough for all that.
You hear about these Panera charged lemonades and stuff killing people? They're saying that's the 5th Loco. Throw some Smirnoff in there.
Yeah.
Probably as close as you're gonna get to original Four Loco.
Remind me to never look at that restaurant ever again.
You wouldn't go there.
Next topic that we got for you too is you know, obviously you sat there. You got your MBA from Millikin, right?
Yeah, so they were offering the 1 year program after your undergrad studies start, August to August MBA program 1 year. I was like, hell yeah, man. I started. Quick plug: Alpha Moving Assistance still operating in Central Illinois. I'm no longer the owner of the company. I sold it back in this past summer. But we're still in operation. I still help out. Still the great company with the great cause of hiring college student athletes to provide, work opportunities for guys that are in school and valuable, reliable source of labor for people that are moving in the area. But anywho, get off my soapbox. I started this company when I was a freshman. That winter break, I went to help my dad move from Mount Vernon, Illinois, to St. Louis. And in the back of the U-Haul that we had rented, it said need work, need something like that, need work, and help people move. And I was like, okay, I can go sign up on this website, and me and my buddies, my teammates, my roommates can help people, load, unload their U-Hauls. And you started out with just like me, Rory, Mizowick, like Ramos did some, Gabe did a lot. We were just helping people move, and then as we kind of grew our presence in the area, we realized that there was a bit of more of a market than we were tapping into. So I got more guys on board, more guys from the team, got some guys from the other teams, from like the other sports teams, and built it into a real legit company. I mean, in 2022, well, I'll back up a little bit. We did that all 4 years of college. Did a couple, business competitions while I was in undergraduate still, and was really build the business and make that my, income source and my legacy of what I was doing, as far as helping out people that had gone the same path as me, and I found a lot of purpose in it. I really did, and it allowed me to learn a lot about business, but more importantly, connect with a lot of the guys that I hadn't maybe played ball with or hadn't played for very long with, connect with them on another level outside of football, and kind of be a bit of a mentor to them, and of course, put some money in their pockets so that they can go buy beer and they can continue those traditions I was talking about earlier. But yeah, the NBA was a natural step for me. It seemed like a good path for me to go learn more about business so that I could scale my business and, follow my dream and passions to being an entrepreneur. And so I did that for the 1 year after school. During that program, or right before that program, we expanded to Chicago. And as you alluded to earlier, we hired, our first two guys were in Chicago area were from North Park University. AJ Harris, I'm sure you guys have heard of him. A lot of guys have heard of him. He's, he just went to a national senior bowl. He got all these accolades this past year. He's a very, very highly skilled athlete and great football player. He'll get some NFL looks or some professional looks for sure. If he hasn't already, I'm sure he has. So he was one of those guys. Larry Pugh was a guy that played defensive back that was another one of the guys that was on the first job up here. We hired a few North Central guys, a lot of North Park guys, because North Park's one of the only schools that's in the city. One of the North Central guys that we had, two of them, one D'Angelo Hardy, he's All-American, all-conference All-American. They've been national champs probably a couple times or a few times out of the past 4 or 5 years. They're going to it again this next weekend. I don't know when this is going to air, but this upcoming Saturday, the 16th, they're playing in the national championship again. Have a great chance of winning. Luke Lennon, their quarterback, was one of our employees. This is also in 2021. This is when NIL became a thing, and we were able to start doing NIL. So I was sponsoring these guys with NIL deals, and Luke Lennon was a natural fit for that because he was from Chatham, Springfield, Illinois, and went to North Central. So he kind of covered both of our service areas, both Central Illinois and Chicagoland. So that was a really cool addition, and just having that, highly skilled of an athlete. He's a all-conference football and baseball player on the college level. You don't really hear that very often, especially at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a really cool experience, and I'm very grateful to have gone through that experience and had that had that under my wing, and as one of my accomplishments, still one of the things I'm most proud of to this day in my life, and I tell everybody that was my life's work. Even though I've sold it, I'm still working on it and still helping out. I just I got tired of messing with the moving customers, if that's fair. But yeah, that was my experience with Alpha, and it was fantastic.
So we sit there and we go from, obviously talking about, from pretty much the very start of like Milliken, even though we kind of more focused on the social life aspect of it. And we've made our way through that time to, playing ball, and then kind of talking about like, you sold the company, you're still a part of the company, all this other stuff. So I think we had talked about it earlier, and I think it's a very good point to bring up now. And I think it's something that Nate and I are trying to sit there and kind of have a focus on as well in all of these videos too, just, for people that are still trying to figure it out, just seeing and hearing some of the experiences. So the way that, society once upon a time was, sat there, and the road that was paved, once you sat there and you graduated college and all that stuff was you find your significant other, you sit there, you settle down, you get a good job, you get a house, following all that, you start popping kids out, all that other stuff. It's vanilla to some, is I think the best way of putting it. So you got to sit there, and I've always known you to have this adventurous spirit that you do, wanting to sit there and chase things and experience things, and get those memories, get those photographs, sit there and have that, with you, the entire rest of your life. You were doing that from sitting there with a $12 30 rack of beer. Now you're sitting there with, adult responsibilities and adult money now. So how did you sit there, man, and like, how did you catch this second wind for adventure, man? I see you doing some shit, dude. It seems like every other weekend, whether it's you sitting there snowboarding on a mountain or hopping on the mountain bike and doing some wacko trail that you can pay me money to fucking do, like all of that shit, dude. Like, how did you sit there and like you got this second wind of just adventure? Because like, well, I think what a lot of people don't understand is like that's kind of like it's kind of like you got a little extra kid in you still going with all that stuff to want to go out there and adventure and shit, dude. Like, see this shit, I don't think you can pay me. I moved 3 times, dude. I don't think you can pay me to fucking move again, dude. I tell you that right now.
No. I mean, I live in Chicago right now. One of the biggest cities in the world. I went to a high school where my graduating class was 43 people. I'm definitely not used to this. This is not, I've definitely made sure to try to experience as many things as I can in my life that are outside of what I have experienced in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And what you said about me having a little kid inside of me, I mean, that's pause. It's very true. I mean, I always tell people, I always tell people that, getting old is mandatory. Everybody has to get older, but growing up is a choice. I choose not to grow up. I don't want to. I don't. It doesn't seem very fun. I still have the responsibilities of an adult, and I handle my business, and I make sure that everything's squared away from an adult responsibility standpoint. But I mean, everyone who knows me and knows me well knows that it's a gift and a curse. I cannot say no to a good time. If any situation I get into, I'm thinking automatically, what's the best way to have fun with this? And like you said, now I put myself in situations where I am guaranteed to have at least an adventure, whether it be fun or not. I'll look back and be like, man, I'm glad I did that. I've always, I credit my dad with a lot of the outdoorsy type interests that I have. he actually took me skiing and snowboarding for my first time when I was a little kid, and then he took me snowboarding right after college, which snowboarding is one of my biggest passions now.
Mm-hmm.
There's my board right there.
The Sean White motherfucker.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, gotta get the hair out. Yeah. No, I enjoy, and I'll say this too, to tie it back to football too. I've been talking to Gabe about this for a while. What I really found interesting about the seasons of football, going from in season to winter lifts to spring conditioning and agility training to summer explosiveness training, then going into camp. So I liken it to this. You have a race car. You buy a race car, right? And you work on it for a year, and you're trying to get it tuned up perfectly for a big race or a big race event, say in August. You put all this work into your car to tune it and finally tune it and make sure that everything is just right and how you want it and performing at the highest level. And then on that race day, you get to go let that thing go. You know what I mean? That's how I likened it to training in the off season. And then you get to football camp. That first day of pads is the day that you get to really let that race car loose, see what it can do. You've done all this work to your body, getting stronger, getting more explosive, getting faster, getting higher endurance, and now you get to see it all come together, and push your body to the limit. I loved camp. A lot of people hated camp. I absolutely loved camp. Whether it was just hanging out with the guys or pushing your body to the limit, I loved every aspect of it. I didn't like being sore, but the ice bath fixed that every time, so no worries there. But pushing your body to the limit is something I've found fun about it. Seeing what you could do. Seeing what your body was capable of after you put all this work in, and that draws me to some of the more adventurous, I guess, activities like mountain biking, snowboarding. I run long distance. I still lift. I'm in my gym clothes right now. I just got back from the gym. I'm on a road back to 400. I used to squat 495 in college. I'm trying to get back over 400 right now for back squat. I broke my wrist in February when out in Colorado snowboarding. The scars I was showing you on my hand is from a mountain bike accident I had a couple months ago. Jake Robinson had a wedding September 30th. That Monday, I wrecked my mountain bike and had a scar on my face and shoulder. My wrists and hands were bleeding. I have this big patch on my shoulder, and it was of course, Belch went and hurt himself before this wedding, before our special day. But yeah, man, that's just kind of how I roll. I like to push things to the limit, and it's like I said, it's a gift and a curse. Sometimes I don't know when to say no.
Would you say you're an adrenaline junkie?
Some people say that about me. I'm definitely not. I don't think I'm brave enough to call myself that. I know that I do know the limit when it comes to keeping myself safe, for the most part. But yeah, I definitely I don't like sitting still. I like to put myself in situations like when I go camping. I'm damn near putting myself in a survival situation. I don't bring a lighter. I bring a flint and steel, and I'll kayak across a lake or down a river to a secluded patch of woods where there's nobody near for miles and miles, and I don't go to a campground. I go make my own campsite out in the woods. Me and Penelope here, she goes camping with me. A few of you may have seen me do that before. But yeah, man, I like to live life on the edge, and yeah. So that. Maybe long way around, a little bit. Sorry.
You should, dude. I mean, whatever keeps you on your fucking toes nowadays, man. I tell you what, I sitting there getting a second win like that, man, how rare that is for motherfuckers. Straight up, you got lucky with that, dude. I mean, I'm not sitting there saying that I'm, fully kind of, settling down type shit where, everything just kind of is what it is, but it definitely, I definitely wish that I had some more aspects of that kind of freedom chasing that you did with it and stuff, dude. Because it makes life exciting. I think the moral of the story is, dude. I mean, especially since those COVID days and shit, man. I mean, life has got boring, bro. I mean, people don't want to do shit. There ain't really shit going on. You know, like to sit there and kind of sit there and appreciate like what the world's giving you. I think is probably the best way of putting it. You know, I was a huge fisherman for a while, and I stopped and whatever. But like my favorite thing to do was there was this little church in Decatur. Actually, it was the church. It was a church that one of Marissa's teammates got married at. They got a pond in the back, bro. And I used to sit there. I used to smack them, dude. I was ripping lips back there, boy.
Hogs, yeah.
And like, I don't know, something about like, I mean, you were close to you weren't like out there in the middle of, you know, fucking nowhere, but something about just kind of like you and just nature, you know, in that moment and all that stuff. It just kind of there's something spiritual with that. That I will say. There's something there. There's
100%.
something there.
Living in the city here, I try to get.
Go ahead.
I said, living in the city here, I try to get out and get as far disconnected into nature as possible, away from people, away from the lights, away from all the busyness. And it's really grounding. It's a good way to kind of recharge my spiritual battery for a weekend or even for a day. Just getting out of here. I mean, I hate the concrete. I hate the city. I hate all the people. So I totally know what you mean. It's refreshing. It puts you in a good mindset and gives you some hope that there you can have that kind of peace throughout all your days, you know.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And I want to say too that the grass is always, you know, it's cliche, but the grass is always greener on the other side. You know, I look at, you know, guys like Jake who has a wife and a kid, and Graham who's got 2 kids now, and you know, him and his girl, and Gabe and his girlfriend, and he's in the Navy and doing all that cool stuff. And you know, it's easy to compare what you've got going on to what everybody else has got going on, but you're not the other person. You know, you're you, and you gotta make decisions that, you know, give you the life experience that you're looking for, and that follows your interests and your goals as a human being. And you can't really worry about what everybody else is doing and comparing it to that, because you're just kind of wasting time and putting yourself in a negative headspace from that too. Yeah, you just got to be you and chase what you want to do, and don't live to the point where you're not going to have any regrets. I mean, I've got plenty of regrets in my life. I'm sure everybody does, but just it's all about putting that next foot forward and chasing what you want.
No, definitely.
Yeah, dude, that actually his ass beat me to that question, dude. Because I was about to sit there and ask, like,
no, same.
You know, so do you got any advice for motherfuckers and shit? This motherfucker just read my mind.
Sorry. If you want to ask it, I can repeat everything again if you'd like.
No, dude. That shit's sweet though, dude, because that speaks to the type of guy that you are. It's just like there's so much shit that just in this world and all this crap, man. And I know it's easy. See, the thing that bothers me about a lot of motherfuckers, dude, is like it's easy to sit here and get on a platform and fucking bitch. That's all I fucking hear everywhere I go is bitching about this. Oh, this, oh, that, oh, this. You know, to a point, yeah, you're fucking right. Sometimes you have to bitch because there's nothing else to, you know, going on. There's nothing else you can do for the situation.
Can't do shit.
Life's hard, man.
But, like, yeah, dude, you got to just fucking sit there, put your big boy pants on, buckle up, and figure it the fuck out. I mean, when it comes down to it now, the difference is if when you're sitting there and you're starting out fresh, you know, for like some of the viewers that are watching this that are, you know, just embarking on that journey and all that stuff. Yeah, you got a lot of slack before you get like, you know, Nate, you still got slack, bro. I mean, you're fresh out. Yeah. Me and this old fuck, I mean, shit. You know, we got to figure out whatever the fuck is we're doing, or you know, whatever path we're taking, whatever it is.
Yeah,
there's no option.
You got to be easy on yourself too. I mean, I'm 26. I think that I'm old all the time. I think, oh man, I joke about it all the time. I'm just gonna be the cool uncle. You know, I got my brother and his wife, and whenever they have a kid, I'll be the cool uncle, and I don't need, you know, to be have a wife and a kid, right now. I'm happy with just being young. I'm still young. I got to remind myself that sometimes, and especially like you said, to those viewers and they're coming straight out of college, and even if you've been out for a few, I'm still figuring it out. I don't know. I don't have anything figured out. I'd like to think I do sometimes, and right when I think I do, life hits me and goes, no, you don't, buddy. Yeah, I'm still figuring it out, man. The grass is always green on the other side. You only see the brightest of people's lives, and you can't compare what you are going through with what you see, because behind closed doors they're going through some of the same stuff, and that's cliche.
I think at the end of the day, I don't think that there is such thing as comparison to anybody. It's just, whether you look at it biblically or you sit there and you just look at the situation for what it is. You are you. You are unique. You are one of a kind. What person A and person B doesn't fucking matter what person A or person B does, because you're person C.
Yeah.
It's just like keeping that aspect in mind, and I think that a large part of why people get in the situation that they do with some of this stuff is, I think a lot of it has to do with society. I think a lot of it has to do with
the system.
Some persuasion, by professors and teachers of like, oh, this is the natural way of, doing things, or you should sit there and you should have this figure out. Motherfucker, I ain't got no clue. If I had a fucking flying magical fuck to give, I'd fucking sit there and give it to you, bro. But I don't. I fucking don't. And that's just the way this fucking shit works. I don't.
Yeah, such low words, Dofos. I love
it. And it goes with like
you're. Go ahead, Nate.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, like you said, like it goes with a couple of questions that I had written down here. Is like you said, like you got advice for like people like me coming straight out of college. Because for me, like I know what I want to do, but a lot of the times, like I don't know how it is for you and your business wise, where like a lot of the jobs that I want gotta have like 3 to 4 years or 2 to 4 years of experience. And it's really hard because a lot of the jobs that are out right now, they're not really hiring guys like me. They're hiring guys that are about 30 to 40 that has all their experience. So I was gonna ask, like, you got any advice for like people that are freshly still coming out, just like me, and then also like advice for all the students that are in college, especially the seniors, trying to figure out what they're gonna be doing for college, because there's still a lot of students that are in college right now that don't know what they're gonna do, and some even go back to high school, they don't know what they're gonna do, because a lot of people are worried, like, oh, you're going to go to college, you still have to figure it out. You have to know what you're going to do by your senior year in high school or your freshman year of college. But, I mean, luckily for me, I found out last second in high school I knew I could make videos. I wasn't good at math. Fuck that shit. Science, I couldn't fucking remember anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just want to get your advice with the seniors that are still in college, and then basically every student that's still in college know basically what to expect once you get out of college.
Yeah, I want to say real quick, Nate. I'm very impressed by you, and I was proud to see you kind of find your interest with the filmmaking and the video making, and with this, you're taking another foray into media with the podcast. I think that's really cool, and I got to see you kind of transition into that interest and to really like take hold of it and take steps towards making a hobby or possibly a career out of it. So. I thought that was really cool, but I will say, what is it? Nate Productions, Spider-Man Productions, something like that.
Yeah.
What am I?
Yeah, Nate Productions
channel. Nate Productions, baby, love it. But to go to the advice part, you got to take that first step, man. I mean, employers have kind of put everybody in a box where you do kind of have to have that experience, and you just got to go get that experience. You can't rush yourself. You can't expect too much out of yourself right off the gate. You don't know anything. For those people that are still in college or just coming out of college, I promise you don't know anything. You think you do. School teaches you a lot, but when it comes to like real world experience, you don't know anything. You got to learn. You're gonna have to learn. And I'm kind of. I feel like I personally had a kind of a setback with that, where my first 4 years out of school, I worked for myself and ran the company, and that's all I knew. I didn't know about working in an office and working for a company and having benefits and a 401k and health insurance and all that stuff. Like, I was just like, yeah, man, I'm running my company, and that's all there is. And now I work for a one of the Forbes 200 companies in the U.S. and I work for the man, is what I always say, and it sucks because in those corporate settings, they could do with you, they could do without you. If you leave, they're gonna fill your seat the next day. Yeah. But you got to get that experience. You got to learn. Take that entry level position as long as it pays enough for you to pay your rent and have a good time and live with your parents for a couple of years after school. I wish I had that opportunity where I could have done that. That's awesome. Save that money. Spend that time with your parents. That's a huge thing. People don't spend enough time with their parents. I don't personally as well. But yeah, I mean, take a bite of humble pie. Realize you're not going to be the CEO coming out of college. Something. Yeah. Learn some experience. Learn some skills. Get to the point where you can market yourself as a good employee or market some of your skills as an entrepreneur. Yeah, you got to just take those steps, man. You can't expect yourself to flash forward to where somebody is going to be in their 30s, or in their late 20s. And like I said, I'm 26. I'll be 27 next August. So I mean, I'm still young. People that are 28, 29, 30, they're like, dude, what are you so worried about? You're still so young and you've already accomplished a lot. Like, be proud of what you've done. Use it as a springboard to continue growing. Don't let up. Keep your foot on the gas. Keep growing as a person, and eventually you'll get to where you need to be. You just got to focus on what you can control, putting that one step, one foot in front of the other, and that's the biggest thing, I think, is controlling what you can control. Say you're looking for a job that's asking for too much experience. Well, then go get that experience. Just got to take that step to get where you want to be. If that's where you want to be, is that other job, then take the steps that it takes to get there. That's ultimately what it is. You can't expect too much of yourself, and that's probably my biggest message: is just be easy on yourself. Enjoy life, and it's all a ride. You gotta enjoy where you're at all. Find those things that you enjoy and that you can take solace in where you're at, and then that will set you up so much better to be happier when you are where you want to get to, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. And we expect so much from ourselves as humans too. Like, you gotta be easy on yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, that's a hell of a statement, dude, to fucking end on, for sure, bro. But before we sit here and our episode unfortunately comes to an end, man, like, on some real shit, dude, like, we want to thank you for being the guy that you are and paving the way that you did with all those other guys, and yeah, I mean, you're as real as it gets, man. I mean, straight up. And the fact of the matter that you're able to sit there and share your experiences and possibly sit there and help somebody that is watching this, that is sitting there with those questions in your head, dude. I mean, that should just be a heartwarming experience with all of it, man. And I think that too often in a lot of social media stuff, like how we're doing or whatever, I don't think that they sit there and I don't think they talk about the other side of things as much, because I don't think a lot of people sit there and they understand it. And I mean, for you to sit there and kick the fucking door down like you did, spitting straight facts and philosophies and all that shit, dude. I mean, I don't think you could have sat there and you could have put it a better way, dude. It's just like, I love sitting there and talking to people like you, dude, because it gets the wheels turning in your brain again. Mm-hmm. And that's what, with all this, while there's going to be fun and stupidity on this, we also want there to be a learning point and all that shit, dude. So, moral of the story, dude, we appreciate you sitting there, taking the time out of your work week to sit here and talk to us, and just sit there and share your stories, and then just share where you're at now, man. I mean, sad that it's been so long ago now, but I mean, it's made us into the people we are today.
Absolutely.
at the end of it all.
Absolutely, and I'll leave you with this real quick. I've been told that I have a lot of wisdom to give. I seem like a wise person. I say I'm not. I may be wise in some regard, but it's because I've made a lot of mistakes. I've fucked up a lot, and it's how you respond to those mistakes, and growing as a person and learning from it instead of just letting it get you down and being like, nah, well, doom and gloom, life's over, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like you gotta just keep moving forward, and everybody's gonna have those things that they think back on and they regret, but it's all about just moving forward and being the best person you can be, putting that next foot in front of the other, and yeah, man, go make those mistakes. I'll plain and simple. Put yourself out there. Go make those mistakes. It's going to happen one way or the other. You're going to either regret sitting around and not taking the risk, or you're going to regret, or you're not going to regret taking the risk. I promise you that. You're not. Do it. Go live.
Yeah, and for all the viewers and all that stuff that are, sitting there going through something, whether it be adulting, you got something on your mind, all that other stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, there is a lot of truth, and there's a lot of different ways you could look at everything that he said. And I think that's the beauty of sitting there and being as free-minded as you are with everything and all that stuff, because I think there's a lot. I think you're going to sit there. You're going to have roadblocks or whatever. But I think it offers more options to sit there and find a way around them. Especially just knowing that there's this big old fucking world out there. There's a million other fucking people. You got nature. You got the city. You got this. You got that. I think too often people forget that there are options for escapes and all that stuff. So I really appreciate you bringing that up. And if you guys have any questions for Josh Belcher, sit there, comment, send us, Snapchats, whatever. We'll sit there, and if we get some, we'll do, kind of like a little short reel of anything. I'm sure he'd love to sit there and have some conversations with you about anything.
And I think you guys can throw up my Instagram handle or something like that on here too.
Mm-hmm.
Like DM me, reach out to me, find me via Alpha, via Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Email me, send me a smoke signal, something. I'm here to talk. I'm happy to kind of talk through things. I've been in dark places and been bogged down with life, and might have some perspective that can kind of help you get through that. So I absolutely open book. Absolutely love to talk to people about that, because I've been through some dark times myself, like I said. So.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Josh fucking Belcher. Thank you for tuning in to Party at the Football House.
Yes, thank you.
Oh yeah, love you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate you, man.